So hey everybody, very long time no see, but I did want to put a video out and say hi to everybody and see how you are all doing out there, and I hope you're all having an absolutely wonderful season. If you guys watched my last video, you know we are working on our second pregnancy right now. Our little boy inside Forrest is going to be 2 soon, and he is loving the outdoors and having a great time with us and getting so smart and growing so much. And now we have this new little baby coming, and we're just about halfway through the pregnancy. And I did also want to share with you guys that we did find out the sex a couple weeks ago, and we are having another beautiful baby boy who is very active already. And we do have a name picked out that we're about 100% sure is going to be the name unless something else comes along, and we're going to name him Jacob. So we'll be looking forward to meeting him in February. I cannot wait for that. Otherwise, I wanted to update you guys on the summertime. As you know, my first trimester was taking a big physical toll on me. Once I hit the second trimester, I started feeling so much better and just really spent a lot of time catching up, not only on our gardens and chickens and the household and life in general. And so we've been getting a lot done. We did actually just get back from last week. We spent 9 days up in Acadia National Park. Yes, we do. I know how our channel started out with lots of hiking. We do still do lots of hiking. That is a huge passion of ours. Forrest, our son, absolutely loves it, and he's getting big enough now to where he's hiking a lot of the trail as well. And when he gets too tired or too rambunctious, we put him up in the shoulder pack, and he has an absolutely amazing time. At the end of this video, if you guys stick around, I will throw up some of my favorite pictures of us in Acadia. It was beautiful. It was so much fun. It's absolutely worth the trip. It was amazing, and we had a really good time together as a family, so that was awesome. But we've been doing a bunch of harvesting of winter stuff over the past couple days, which I'll show you what we've gotten in. So bring you around, show you a couple of those things, throw up some pictures at the end, and then I do have some plans for some more videos coming out. So I thank you so much for sticking with us, guys, as... Ooh, I got a bee buzzing around my hand. Hello. Thank you so much for sticking with me, guys, as I did take a break over this summer from doing the videos and just really spent some time on me and on the family and just on life. You guys know how it is. So, and I thank you so much for all of your support, and those of you who have contacted me and sent me your love and all that. I absolutely love you all, and I really appreciate the community, and I appreciate all of you. So let me bring you around, and I'll show you a couple of things that we've harvested and what we've got going on. Here we have a whole bunch of our butternut squash that we harvested. We had a wonderful harvest here. And the funny part about this is you guys saw me at the beginning of the year planting our squash in the ground. Those squash actually did not do so well. The garden is new, and you can tell how much amending it truly needs. The couple plants that we planted where we had enough compost to go around did much better. The ones that didn't have any compost barely went anywhere. These are all actually from a vine that started growing out of our compost pile and produced all of these wonderful squash. We've already eaten and used up a couple of them, and there's about 5 or 6 more out there right now. The vines died off at this point. They died while we were on vacation. We came home and they were completely gone. All that was left was the squash. But I'm leaving the couple out there on the little bit of green vine that is left to see if they'll ripen more, because they're still very white and unripe. But otherwise, I have these guys out here curing, and I'm going to leave them in the sun here on the deck and let them cure for quite a few days before we move on to the next step of storage with these guys. So here we have some of our potatoes. I did a little differently this year, and I left our potatoes in the ground as long as I possibly could until all the foliage had completely died back, and then continued to leave them in the ground for their own storage. We still have a whole nother section of potatoes to harvest in the other garden, but they still actually have a ton of green foliage, and I want to do the same thing with those because these are some of the best potatoes that I've seen out of our land. Last year's potato harvest was not nearly as hardy as this one. As you can see, we have some big, beautiful potatoes in here. These are Yukon Gold potatoes, and I also have purple potatoes in here. We harvested all of these yesterday, so I'm going to be laying these guys out in the basement to cure for about 2 weeks before we put them into storage as well. There's probably, if I had to guess, I didn't weigh, but probably about 25 to 30 pounds of potatoes in this bag here. It is quite heavy. I'd probably say more towards 25. So this is one of our Long Island cheese pumpkins. These pumpkins came in amazing this year. I probably have about 30 pumpkins out here right now to harvest. I have already harvested over 10 pumpkins. I put some out for decorations. I have already made and frozen our own pumpkin puree, about 10 cups worth, and made 4 loaves of pumpkin bread with that already. We still have all this to take care of, so I do plan to actually make a video within the next couple days, because I'm going to be doing that, and I'll show you guys how we take care of these, how we clean them, how we make our own pumpkin puree. We got some squash bugs on there, and how we go ahead and we save our seeds, because I did save one batch of about 300 seeds so far, and I plan to save another one. We did have our other type of cornfield pumpkin growing that we attempted to do in containers, and unfortunately over some of the bad heat waves we had where it was reaching over 100, they did not make it through that, and it slowly took those guys out. So unfortunately we didn't do anything with those, but luckily those guys were only for carving and decoration anyway, and the ones that we're eating are coming in beautifully. Right now I'm sitting in a section where the vines have started to die off, but then all around me they also keep spreading themselves out and getting more and more. They're even growing up at one of our big boulders here. You can see how they've even started to grow up over the boulders, and there's pumpkins on the other side of that. They've completely taken everything over. And our strawberry beds here have really started to fill themselves in. They're making so many babies. As you can see, some of them are looking a little wilty right now, but they're okay. It's because I did a ton of weeding yesterday and did a lot of disturbance of the soil. So they're just recuperating from that a little bit. So the beds are doing wonderfully, and I'm hoping that I can start catching some of these runners and babies and putting them in pots, and we'll have those to go out to market next year, which will be awesome and a good support for our little mini homestead. Chickens and ducks have been doing wonderfully with the new flock as well. They're all doing great. And our ducks over the summer did hatch 2 eggs, so we have 2 new juvenile ducks that are over there in the corner out of view. I don't know if you can see them through the fence. They're hanging out at their little pool there, but they basically look like grown ducks now. They've gotten so big. And here we have a few carrots left here. We've got purple carrots and orange carrots and red carrots. We got quite a few from each variety that we had planted back when, and they are delicious. But they've been hanging on in the fridge for us. We may end up freezing a couple if we don't use them in time. But otherwise, that is actually part of our plan for the day, is that I'm going to be going outside and planting a couple fall crops now that the cool weather is actually in. It was still quite hot about a week ago, where we're going to be planting in some carrots, some more beets, a couple radishes, I'm thinking, and we'll see where we want to go from there. As you can see here, we have some of that beautiful German red garlic that came in. We got a whole bunch of it, as you can see. And we got a variety of sizes, from nice big decent size bulbs to little mini bulbs. So good to have fresh garlic to do some cooking with. And then we'll take some of these, the biggest bulbs we have here, and we'll be replanting those soon in order to hopefully get another crop next year.
So other than that, in news, surprisingly our onions didn't do very well this year. Last year I had a really good onion crop, and those were done just in the soil. These ones I did the raised bed, if you remember me building those raised beds, and surprisingly they didn't do very well. But I've still got a couple around in some containers and stuff to harvest as well. It was not a good year for tomatoes. Tomatoes are usually so easy and wonderful. It's not a good year
for our tomato plants, but that wasn't just me. I also heard that from gardeners around the area as well, that their tomatoes didn't do as well as they usually did. Same with the peppers. Seems like the crops that really loved it this year were the gourds, and the root crops did wonderfully with the weather. A lot of other things didn't do quite as well as normal. The beans produced like crazy. I was looking out there trying to, remember everything they had planted. But otherwise, it's been a good year. You always have crops that do well and crops that don't do as well. Family's doing wonderfully and all that good stuff. So again, I appreciate you all. I'm going to throw up some of those pictures, like I said, if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you for always joining us and being with us and supporting us. I hope that you're all loving life right now. And I will see you on the next one. God bless and bye-bye.